Hi, welcome to I Unlimited, committed to helping you find your best self and inner peace. Hi, friends. I grew up in a critical environment, and by that I mean all I ever heard spoken of was criticism. Where and how I was wrong, what wasn't good enough, what right should be. And that's all I knew. That was normal. And I adopted that because kind of like a fish, that's the water I was swimming in. That's all there was to me. That's all that existed. And of course, as we go through life and realize, there's another way, not only this way. And yet, because it was what I was raised in, it seemed not only normal, but right? Because I've been raised with that, what's right and wrong. But when I realized that it was keeping me stuck, keeping me separate from other people, keeping me unhappy, and I consciously chose I wanted something different for my life and started on a path of recovery, discovery, growth and expansion. And yet, another thing that I created or took on in my childhood was overthinking. I was always trying to find that right way, the solution, the key, the answer, because then all the criticism and the negativity would go away, right? No. But I had that habit of overthinking. So as I'm going through the journey and the growth and I'm developing, and yet I'd still find myself at times in that negative thought flow, and I'd catch that. And I don't want that. And of course, there are people that are, just stop thinking about that. Like, yeah, right. What I have found the easiest for me to interrupt that is breathing. Now, because I don't have to consciously think, well, what should I be thinking instead? Because now I go from the critical now to the overthinking spiral, right? But if I just shift entirely, let go of that completely, let it drift away, and then focus on something else. Now, initially, of course, I would do the breathing like, okay, let me just breathe so I can stop thinking those thoughts. Okay, I'm not thinking those thoughts anymore. I'm going to think something different. Well, guess what? Those thoughts are still in my mind, right? They're still active in there. And I am still breathing in a tense manner. Okay, this is going to work. And then be frustrated when it didn't. So when I'm talking about breathing, I'm talking about like letting the body go. Think about if you've seen an athlete who has just sprinted to a finish line, just run as hard as they could. And afterward, they're like bent over at the waist and they're just trying to get oxygen back into all the muscles of their body, right? So every muscle in their body pretty much is relaxed. They're not tense. They're not holding themselves like this, because when you're holding yourselves tight, you cannot breathe fully. You can't get that oxygen through to every muscle. So I'm talking about, as I'm breathing, I'm consciously thinking of the air coming in. If I'm in the right alignment, not only do I feel my rib cage expand this direction, but I feel my spine elongate. So I feel myself and making room, bringing that air in, allowing it to go everywhere, to my feet, my toes, the tailbone, the top of my head, my fingers, and allowing the muscles to relax with each breath. And realizing, like, breath is life. If you don't have breath, you don't have life. And so realizing that as I breathe it in, I'm breathing in a new life, right? Because that's a new breath. It's refreshing. It's oxygenating, helping to restore everything. So why not allow it to refresh and help restore my thinking, right? So as I might be tense and irritated with myself primarily because I'm caught in having negative thoughts, but I don't need to be. I don't need to be upset with myself. All I have to do is Feel it relax, allow it to relax. With every breath, I can let the muscles relax more and more. Feel myself grow taller, expand, and relax. And if I focus on that breath, if I focus on that new life, that who am I creating myself to be? Who was I created to be? Who am I? And so I start focusing on that. And as I breathe in, allow that to expand. Allow that way of being, not only to expand, but to go within and take root down in the very cells, right? So I expand, I get taller, I relax, I restore and refresh, and I focus on that connection to life, that connection to the life I'm creating, of who I say I am, who I am in the world, and let that with every breath fill more and more and more of my thoughts, my focus, my attention, and my intention, right? And what I discover so often, not only that I relax, but you're tapping into what's already in there. Suddenly, new thoughts, new ideas, new inspirations, new joy springs forward, right? And the other thing that comes forward is a greater clarity, a greater calm, certainly, but a greater centeredness, confidence, groundedness, maybe, of a declaration. This is who I am. This is who I shall be in the world. This is what I am creating in my life and offering out into the world. Not criticism and negativity, right? But grace, kindness, clarity, hope. And I find that that helps my inner light shine. It doesn't just shine for us when we polish that up, when we turn that brightness up a little bit, it shines out into the world, doesn't it? We share that, and we find other lights out there shining, that we can come together and increase that. So when you find you're in a mental conversation that isn't serving you, that's taking you down, ticking you off, you find yourself just tense and tight, allow yourself to breathe consciously. A relaxing breath like the athletes. Like every muscle is loose, relaxed, and spent, so that that oxygen can get everywhere, restoring and refreshing. As we go on the journey, I know for me, on my journey of self-improvement, self-development, of restoration to who I was created to be, I think of it like a sculptor sculpting out of stone, right? Sometimes you're chipping away what isn't that beautiful image. And sometimes it's just little tiny flecks chipping off. And then other times you hit a seam and boom, a big chunk comes off. And that's our journey, isn't it? Sometimes it's little tiny steps, and other times it's big leaps forward, right? And sometimes you feel you start it again because you're on a new part of the stone, right? Or you're changing something, or something broke away in a way you hadn't anticipated. So you have to sort of change that and start again on that section, if you will. But it's fine. It's all fine, because it's still creating something of beauty, right? And we can be frustrated, irritated by how long it's taking. But if you never start, you're never going to see that finished work of art. And if you keep at it, even if it's a tiny chip today, it's still progress. You're still getting there. And if we're going to go through today anyway, why not make some progress? So, the good news is that I find, so I can embrace being irritated, either with something out there or with myself, because that's another reminder, another opportunity for me to breathe, to connect to that life force, because breath is life. And look at how shallowly we tend to breathe. When we're breathing shallowly, we're restricting that life. We're restricting the life force flowing through us. We're tightening the muscles. We're not allowing ourselves to be refreshed, restored, renewed, right? So yeah, we might get irritated that something's bothering us or going on out there or in here. But the good side of that is it gives us another opportunity to consciously connect, to consciously relax, to consciously refresh and restore, to return ourselves to who we are at our core. So I'll see you on the journey. And until then, keep shining your light. I hope this video helped you rise higher and shine brighter. Keep going. Invest just a few minutes here with me each day, and you'll see your happiness, fulfillment, and inner peace grow. Please remember to share, like, and subscribe to this channel so others can find their best selves in inner peace too.